A warning before we begin. This video will contain spoilers for Wuthering Waves 3.4 Edgerunners collab story, and of course for the Edgerunners show season 1 as well. If you haven't done either of them, go watch the show, download the game. You should be able to access the collab story with about an hour of gameplay. I really don't want to be the reason you got spoiled. You've been warned. If you watch Edgerunners, you already know what I'm about to talk about. The world is dark. David dies, Adam Smasher kills him and Rebecca both, and Lucy survives. And she made it to the moon. The dream she talked to David with. She gets there, but she's alone up there. And then the iconic song, I Really Wanna Stay at Your House plays, and the show ends right there. I think that's a kind of image that stays in your head. It made sense for a story like that. We cannot really have happy endings in Night City after all.
For folks like us, wrong city, wrong people.
Just us, Johnny Silverhand said. There was no goodbye. That's what we were left with. The collab got announced way back in 2.3 anniversary broadcast. Lucy and Rebecca and their iconic weapons came as banners. Sure, this is all we expected. Even then, the models looked amazing. The movements, the expressions, they are all very faithful to the show itself. Then we got more. We got quick hacks and breach protocol minigames, the custom skip animation during one part of the quest. They actually want us to feel like we're in the world of Edgerunners, the world of Cyberpunk 2077. And the numbers showed people showed up for it. Wuthering Waves hit an all-time Steam peak of 49,000 concurrent players during 3.4. Hit number 1 on US and Japan Steam charts, which means it surpassed Counter-Strike 2 in those regions. Make of that what you will. Number 2 on the global Steam charts above Forza Horizon 6. And those are Steam numbers only. PS5 players, mobile players, none of that is counted in there. Kuro Games actually rebuilt a section of Night City from scratch for this collab. They didn't just port assets from the show or from Cyberpunk 2077, they rebuilt it. And the Night City you walk through in the game isn't really Night City, it exists in a Somnor, which is basically a dream space in Wuthering Waves. It's rebuilt entirely from Lucy's memories, so it's not the real city, it's her version of it, what she's carrying inside her. David. He was dead in Edgerunners, and in this story he was dead too. The show isn't being retconned or reversed. But the space in her dream allows for something that the real world obviously can no longer give her. It allows a goodbye. Think about goodbyes you've gotten in your life and the ones you didn't. When you get to say goodbye to something, it closes. You move away from the place you love, you hug people at the airport, you leave a job, whatever. Those things still hurt, but they have this shape to it. There's a hurt, but you know where it ends. You did the ceremony, you said things, even if it's not the right words, you were there at the ending, and that ending felt like an ending because of those goodbyes. Death almost never works that way though. Most of the time someone dies and there was no goodbye. Because why would there be? You didn't know that was gonna be the last conversation. Or they were taken suddenly and the last time you saw them wasn't framed as the last time. It was just a regular Monday. And that is now permanent. There's no closing that moment. You're just left holding the rest of the conversation that never happened. And I think that's why Lucy's ending in Edgerunners hurts the way it does specifically. Because after that fight, David was just gone. She didn't get to say anything, any goodbyes, and she had to live with whatever was left of that. She made it to the moon, and the moon was just the moon, without him. A goodbye, when it finally comes, doesn't fix anything. He's still dead, nothing changes. But I think it gives grief somewhere to actually land. Like it converts this open wound that just keeps bleeding into something that actually ended. That's the only way I know how to explain why this collab story hits hard as it does. It gave Lucy, and honestly the Edgerunners fans, that missing goodbye. So the reunion happens, Lucy and David together on the moon. The place they talked about. The dream they were supposed to have together and she had to go alone. And I Really Wanna Stay at Your House plays. I genuinely don't think I need to say anything about what that song means to people who watch the show. Hearing it again, that moment, over that specific scene, after years since the show ended. Yeah, it does something to you. David gives a kind of proper goodbye before he disappears. Rebecca also got to say her piece before she's gone, leaving Lucy alone again. But this alone time, she had a goodbye she missed last time. Kuro Games could have told the story differently. maybe it could take place before the final fight in Edgerunners, where the crew was all alive, and give references for this gig that'll be going on later. Or just create a completely new story set in Solaris 3 with those characters but zero correlation to the source. But no, they respected the ending, the source material, and gave us this ending. But this is a dream. Lucy's dream. Like I said, both David and Rebecca disappeared. She is not getting them back. And that goodbye she got is so much more honest and satisfying than any alternative route this story and collab could have gone. I think Cyberpunk Edgerunners gave us a tragedy we love, specifically because it was honest. It didn't soften anything, and I think a lot of us respected that even while it hurt. And Wuthering Waves, almost 4 years later, gave us that thing that the honest ending didn't have room for. A goodbye. On the moon, the song playing. I don't know, that's probably all I wanted to say. If you play through the quest and it got to you, you already know what I mean. If you haven't, go play it, and I'm sorry I probably spoiled you. The collab is live right now. Anyways, see you next time.